What's up, guys? Before this episode starts, I want to say that it is sponsored by our friends at Ghost Lifestyle, who I've been working with for a long time, since day one. The best supplements in the game. If you need protein powder, pre-workout, anything, they have you covered, and you can use my code MAX to save yourself 20%. Let me ask you, have you ever been suckered into buying some greens that end up tasting like Earth's butthole, and you're like, I hate this? Well, guess what? Ghost does not. It tastes like an amazing orgasmic flavor in your mouth. The lime greens, I'm telling you, hands down, my absolute favorite. Use 8 ounces cold water, and let me tell you, you'll never want to taste anything ever again from anyone else because they are the best. Code MAX, 20%. Enjoy this video. Bye. What's up, p****s? What do you identify as? Like, what do you tell people you do?
Bradley Martin.
Hopped up out the bed, turn my swag on.
It can be a movie with all guys. It can be an all-guy movie.
What? How much money are you making?
$5,800.
What?
Max tuning.
Talk shit, get hit. Would you do a boxing match with Bradley Martin?
I would be down.
Well, actually, I got a surprise for you. Bradley, come on in, dude. Come on in. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Don't Be Sour. I am your host, Max Tuning, and today we have a very special guest, Mr. Brandon Soosh Bra.
Thank you. I appreciate you calling me Brandon.
Yeah, to be honest, I forget you have a name other than Soosh.
Everybody calls me Soosh.
And I'm not gonna lie. Okay, so normally this is gonna be a very special podcast because, first of all,
you didn't tell me about any of this.
No, well, first of all, you said you've never done a one-on-one,
Yeah,
right?
never a one-on-one.
So we're gonna get some alone time.
It's very intimidating.
It's good.
I've got 3 cameras on, and I'm used to this shit. So I got 3. Can I cuss?
You can say all the dirty words, bro.
Okay. I got 3 cameras on me, and then also your eyes gazing at me. So
we're locked in,
Yeah.
and we've been drinking a little bit. Nothing crazy, but so normally every podcast I always do like a little bit of research, but I also usually have my notebook with me that has like kind of the structure of the episode, helps me flow, helps me like helps me with the flow.
yeah, you do a way better job than we did.
Well, this is about to be a shit show because I went and worked out before this, and I didn't have any time because we came from another episode, so I don't have any notes. So this
Right.
is going to be a full-on YOLO podcast, and people will actually find out if I'm actually a good host or not.
That's good.
I know.
Because this is what I'm used to. So this might turn into my podcast, actually.
This might be good, dude. just retitle it and then just come out like
I'll post this on my channels, and this will be my first episode.
That's fine, dude. It'll repurposing content,
Yeah.
man.
Hell yeah, dude.
So why don't we start it out with, why don't you explain to people who you are and what you do? And what we like to ask is like the situation is you're in an Uber and the Uber driver is just like, what do you do? And the idea behind it is, so it's like to the person that where you're not trying to like maybe who doesn't know who you are, it's like the average person, like what do you identify as? Like what do you tell people you do?
Okay, so yeah, this is a great question because I don't even know how to answer. Every time somebody asks me that, I say a different thing. So if
you're in an Uber right now, dude.
If I'm sober in the Uber, I'm gonna be like, like if I'm on the way to dinner,
okay,
I'm gonna be like, I do social media. That's usually what I say. That's usually the go-to.
You do social media?
I do social media.
And if they're like what does that mean? Like,
I go, like Instagram. I started on TikTok, and they go, oh, TikTok, and I go, yeah, during the pandemic, and then they kind of understand. Okay, so
they're like, do you know how to do those renegade dances?
I know dancing. I say I do fitness content.
Okay,
and then sometimes I'll even give them my Instagram, and they'll be like, okay, and they see it, and then blah blah blah.
Be like, you want to follow me?
Yeah.
So
always.
You said that's if you're sober. What happens if you're drunk? What do you say?
If I'm drunk and we're on the way back, we go, we're just. I usually go, we're like we're vloggers or we're idiots who spend a lot of money and we get fucked up. That's usually what we say. Is like, like what do you guys do? And we're in there because we're usually coming back from the club.
Yeah.
We're all just obliterated, and we're like, we spend money and do stupid shit.
You didn't paint the picture like we're with. You don't have a girlfriend, do you?
No.
Okay, so you didn't paint the picture of like, yeah, we're like in the Uber with like 5 girls or something.
It's usually 5 guys. It's usually all of us. It's all the boys
that had no success.
Yeah, it's all the boys, and we're going back home empty-handed. But it's always a great night, no matter what. It doesn't matter if there's no girls. It's always a great night.
And then you're like tweeting out, dude, like tonight was a movie.
Yeah, but it really was though. It can be a movie with all guys. It can be an all-guy movie.
I think they call that Brokeback Mountain, dude.
What is that?
What? It's a good film. You don't know that?
No. Brokeback Mountain? I might be too young, dude. I'm 22.
You're 22?
Yeah.
Oh my God, bro. I'm over a decade older than you.
Are you really?
Yeah.
You look great.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, of course.
It's because I can't grow any facial hair or anything like that.
Neither can I.
So can we start it by like a Soosh bra? Where did Soosh come from?
So Soosh, my buddy,
What does that even mean?
Yeah, so he lives downstairs, my buddy. He came up with it. So when we first started playing PlayStation, you know, you had your gamer tag, right? And my gamer tag was Sushi the Don. The Don being like short for Brandon. So it's Sushi. So like if he's
Like sushi, like the food?
yeah, Sushi the Don. I don't know. You know how gamer tags are. It doesn't fucking make sense.
Yeah.
And if he's getting shot at in the game, he's not going to say my whole username. So this nickname was Soosh. So it's like Soosh, like, yo, come revive me or whatever. And that just stuck. So when I made my first TikTok, when I made my account, I made the name Soosh. And then when I made the Instagram, Soosh was taken. So I was like, fuck, dude. And then I said Soosh brah.
Why didn't you spell it like SUSH if it was an abbreviation for sushi?
Because that doesn't spell Soosh. That's like sush. You know? So
Wizard
Soosh,
shit.
yeah, Soosh is 2 O's. Soosh.
Now I've noticed you were Soosh bra, and now you probably, do you prefer people just like, do you want to be Brandon?
It really has no effect on me. I really don't care.
It will when you're 30.
Yeah. No, seriously. I think when it's a serious conversation and like something is going down, I don't want to be called Soosh, right? Like if it's like, hey Brandon, like your dog just died. I don't want to. I don't want
Soosh
hey
bra.
Soosh. Yeah, like hey Soosh, bro. You know.
Okay, with the bra being added on the side of that, you recently got rid of. I feel like you disassociated the bra from the Soosh.
Yeah, I really don't. I that never really was my thing. I never really. It was just because Soosh was taken.
I don't know if you know this, but there's actually you've seen Fight Club.
Yeah.
Okay, thank God. Okay, I was like,
Well, I've seen
you're
parts
like, what
of
is
it.
that?
I've seen parts of it. It's a long movie. I've seen parts of it.
Okay, well,
And it starts off really slow.
the biggest thing about Fight Club is that there's a club that you don't talk about. The number one rule of Fight Club is you don't talk about Fight Club.
Right.
That's also rule number 2. There's an unspoken, actually, group of bras, and I was one of the founders of it. I don't know if you know this.
I have no idea.
So if you go back to my origin story, the year, I'm painting the picture for you. The year is 2013.
Okay.
And
Wait, is this in the film or is this like a real life thing?
no, we're moving on to me now.
Okay.
This is back
we're
in the day.
Not talking about Fight Club anymore.
No. That's just to paint the picture of like a secret
Okay.
society.
Oh, okay.
I was called the deadlift bra,
Interesting.
right? But it goes deeper than that because even before, and I was about your age, right? My Instagram handle and my Twitter, I was Instabra, and Yabra was my Twitter handle.
So it's a thing. Because I don't know where I got it
It's a
from.
club.
Yeah. I don't know where I got it from. I was just like, okay, I see a lot of people, like fitness people who do bra, and I was like, fuck it, like I'm fucking Soosh bra now.
I don't want to say that I invented putting bra on the end of your name, but I think I invented it.
That's interesting because now I'm like,
Yeah, it's like
I almost have to pay you homage.
it's kind of like you're want to work at my really big firm, and then you're like, hey, I went to the college and the fraternity you were in. That's like
Interesting.
we don't know each other that well, but we have a
We
connection.
have the same. Yeah.
That's pretty exciting stuff.
That's actually interesting.
Yeah, I was once a bra, and then I got out of that. I don't know when I fucking
You rebranded to Max Tuning.
yeah. I don't know why. Instabra was my Instagram handle, and then my girlfriend at the time, way back in the day, she really wanted me to make a Twitter, and I was like, Twitter's stupid. I don't want a Twitter. And then she's like, no, I want to make you one, and I said, I'll only do it if it's Yabra, 2 H's and two H's on both.
That's pretty sick.
Yeah.
Is it still active on that or no?
No, I'm sure some lucky soul has all my old handles, but you've evolved from the Soosh bra to Soosh to Brandon. What's kind of, well, I want to talk about like current events or current things that are kind of going on in your life. First of all, you just moved to LA, sick apartment, by the way.
Thank you.
High rise, corner unit, all the windows.
Corner. Yeah, I actually didn't. I didn't want this unit actually. I wanted a smaller one, and the guy was showing me them, and I was like, oh yeah, this is sick. And he goes, I got one more for you. It's a little bit out of your budget. but I just want to show you. And that's where he gets me.
You don't have a budget, dude. I've seen your lifestyle.
I told him my budget, and he was like, "It's a little bit out of your budget, but just come and see this one."
Here's what I'd like to spend for the apartment,
Right.
but just know that I could afford more.
Yeah.
I'm just choosing
Exactly.
not to.
No, that's how it was.
You had to paint a picture for him.
And he showed me this place, and it was fucking awesome. All the windows were up, so the place was beautifully lit because of LA. You know,
Yeah.
the sun. It was great, and I was like, I need this.
Well, it's a beautiful new home, and you're a new transplant to LA.
Yeah, I love it.
Where were you before Houston? You were in Houston for.
I was in Georgia I was living at my parents' house, but I was also in school in Charleston.
Did you go to college?
Yeah, I went to the Citadel. It's a military college.
Oh.
Yeah, I was trying to be a Marine Corps.
Did you drop out?
Yeah.
What? Well, now you're never gonna be successful.
COVID happened. Yeah, right. COVID happened, and I was paying all this tuition it was like $50,000 a semester. So
what?
Or I'm sorry, no, $26,000 a semester, so $50,000 a year.
Oh shit!
Which is still steep. And my parents were paying for it, and they were like, "Okay, yeah, we're gonna pay for your school. You got to go here." Blah blah blah. And COVID hit, and I got sent home, and so I'm still paying $26,000, but I'm doing online school,
right?
And it's not even the military aspect that's supposed to get me sharp, supposed to do all of these things for my character development and all of that. And so my parents was like, "Yo, you should transfer, because we're paying all this money for no reason." So I transferred to just a community college in Georgia, but then I started blowing up on TikTok. I started making money, and I told my parents, I was like, "Yo, I'm not gonna listen to my professors anymore, because I make more money than them."
Is that what you're gonna say?
Yeah. I didn't want to sound arrogant.
Fuck school, fuck these books.
Yeah.
I'm out.
And because of it was actually chemistry. My teacher, I loved school. I didn't love it, but like I didn't mind it at all. But it was this chemistry teacher who I was like, this guy fucking sucks. He would, like, every day, like, people wouldn't show up. He'd be like, these kids, the empty seats, they're failures. They're never gonna be any. I swear to God, it was like a movie.
Yeah.
He's like, they're never gonna be anything.
He was like, how do I reach these kids?
Yeah. And I was like, dude, every day I'd be, fuck this guy. And then I failed a test, and that day I dropped out.
You dropped out because you failed a test.
It was like the last straw. It was like the straw that broke the camel's back. I was like, this is it.
The straw that broke Soosh's back.
Yeah.
So back then you were just a nobody, a common person.
Yeah, it was actually cool. Sometimes people would stop me on campus and be like, "Yo, let's take a pic, Soosh," because I was on the come up.
And so you started on TikTok.
Yeah.
Take me back to the early days.
It was just
What did you create? Like what was your first TikTok?
It was, well, my first one was just some stupid transformation that I thought was really sick. But the one that like blew up was, I should really know this, right? I don't know.
Was it like, were you doing TikTok-y things, or like you were just doing something else on TikTok?
It was fitness comedy. And so no one kind of really was doing that. And I got huge inspiration from Dom Mazzetti, Mike.
Yeah.
And I kind of brought Mike's attitude brought it to TikTok. So I brought that like douchey. I was wearing his shirt, like his Miami, you know, the like Miami U. I was wearing his shirt in the videos, and I was like working out in my neighbor's garage, and I would just make these shitty, like, funny videos, like, curling in the squat rack and shit like that. And people, it's almost like people had never seen fitness comedy before. So it just started going. And I just started, boom, another one. And I just started blowing up.
So were you playing a character?
Yeah, I was. But at the same time, like, you say, like, oh, I'm playing that douchebag persona. But, like, at the end of the day, we kind of all are. At least for me.
I'm definitely a douchebag.
Yeah, at least.
Sure.
Like, if you look really good and you're 20 years old, like, and you're getting all these followers, like, yes, you're playing a facade, but also it's back there.
So would you say that, like, I mean, I'm sure your content's evolved slightly, but
but for sure,
for some part of it, it's kind of like when I'm on camera, I kick up my personality a little bit. Like, obviously, I'm not gonna be like, dude, what's up, Brandon? Man, it's good to see you, bro.
Sure.
Like, where I am on YouTube, would you say you're like how like the people that the person that people see on social, how are you different in real life?
I would say now I'm more
seem calm.
You're saying now I seem calm.
You seem calmer than like the online persona that
right.
I see.
I think now, in like my recent videos as well, is I'm this is the most same I've been, if that makes sense. Like this is the most similar
to like who you are.
Yeah, I would say like my videos right now are because it's almost like I have nothing to prove, and like I'm almost I don't have to put on a persona anymore because I know people are gonna fuck with me regardless. But back then it was pretty bad. Like it was like just douchebaggy, like really, but like to the crank to the max.
Were you wearing sunglasses in the gym?
Yeah, it was sunglasses. I invented that shit, and I don't care what anybody else fucking says. I put that shit on the map, and people. I
need you to walk me through why. What is this sunglass trend, bro? Because like
it's just because it's douchey.
Do people think it looks cool?
I mean, I thought I looked cool.
Because look, look, I'm all for like, hey, like you're not bothering me. I don't care what you wear. I mean, I was wearing compression gear out to Chipotle with no shorts are on it. So I get the like kind of like weird fitness thing that for some reason I was like, no, this is normal. But I can't wrap my head around the sunglasses in the gym.
It's just a look cool thing. That's all it is.
And who says you're looking cool?
I did. Like
the other kids with the sunglasses.
Yeah, and people would comment and be like, bro, this fucking guy's wearing sunglasses in the gym. Like, take them off. And you would think that would like flip a switch for me.
It's not just sunglasses. It's not like you're wearing Ray-Ban aviators. You're wearing like Daytona NASCAR reflective like wraparound
big
sunglasses.
Ones, yeah. And you would think those comments would like get to me, but I was like, fuck yeah, I am. Like, fuck you, dude. Like, you don't know what you're talking. Like, I can wear whatever the fuck I want. And that was the attitude. It was less about. It's less about the sunglasses. It's more about I'm gonna do whatever the fuck I want.
You're like the I don't care attitude.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what really stuck with. That's why I think I was part of the reason I was so successful is because a lot of these younger guys who I was influencing, they were almost. It's like
they wanted to be a gym douche too.
Yeah, it's like they wanted to express themselves and be this guy that they almost couldn't be because maybe for whatever reason they were insecure or whatever. They were like looking at me as like I want to be like this guy who doesn't give a fuck. He wears sunglasses in the gym.
Do you think I mean I don't want to directly compare you, but I almost kind of feel like when I first saw you on the scene, you were like the second coming of like Ziz. You were like another like I was like this is another type of like Ziz person, but he's succeeding at it in his own way and not like try. You know who it is?
Yeah,
right? Yeah, of course, right. R.I.P.
No, so I want to make this clear. I never actually was I never followed Ziz. Like I never because I've only been lifting. I started lifting when I was 18. I'm 22, so I never. He was around in like what probably.
Back in my day.
Yeah.
Back in my day.
Over there. So like back then, that's when he was around. And so I never really watched him until I started lifting and I started doing content. People were like, this is Ziz. This is Ziz reincarnated, whatever. That's what they would say. So I was like, who's this Ziz guy?
He was a sick cunt.
He was a sick cunt. And I adopted that.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, this is Ziz who I'm just now finding out about. I'm going to make that my thing.
It's kind of like, and I when I mentioned that like people like, oh, I want to be a gym douche too, I'm kind of like, it seems like I'm bashing it, but like I was a big Ziz fan and like the joke about being kind of that gym douche, he was like the gym douche, right? But it did represent the like, I truly don't give a fuck. Like I truly don't. And like it inspired me a lot. I mean, I was running around, and I don't know how much you dive into the Ziz stuff, but I was like running around and be like, "Fwa, dude!"
Bro, you have no idea. I was
spelling like "fwark" on fucking comments and stuff, and
that's like if you go back to like my old captions or like even in my videos, that's how I would talk. Yeah, I can't watch my old videos. I don't know about you, but I can't watch.
But it was cool because it really did like in a weird way that like. Now is like I'm older, I'm like, oh, I can't believe I acted like this, whatever. But in the time, it was like this liberation thing of like, I can not like I need to be this person that I'm not, but like I need to. It allowed me to like not care what people thought of me.
Yeah,
like whether it be I wanted to wear a stringer, which I did for a small period of time, but like I could just be the gym bro that like I wanted to be, and I didn't care, and it like allowed me to. Really whatever comments people were giving me online at the time, I was like, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
I'm a sick fucking cunt, dude.
It's like a get out of jail free card.
Yeah.
It's like you if you were like someone hates on you, like, bro, I'm a sick cunt. Exactly like how you just said.
That's exactly what it was.
So it's
like you Myron?
Yeah, exactly. So that's exactly what now I'm thinking about it, I'm like, wow, this is crazy realization that we're having right now, because that's why everybody resonates so well with it, is because it's their way of being like, fuck you.
it's a revolution, bros.
Yeah.
That's what it
There it
is,
is,
man.
yeah.
And you said you cringe looking back at your old content. Do you think you've evolved?
Oh yeah.
I know you used to. I know not only the old podcast that you had, the Mogcast. I'm assuming in some of your videos, I didn't go super far back, but you would always start your videos with "What's up, pussies?"
Yeah. And that
classic line. But now you don't do that, dude.
I don't do that anymore. That was more. I just started it one day,
That was
I
me
did it.
back in the day, bro. Like
Yeah.
I would not like when I not like in a mean way, but I'm like I would say just wild shit.
Yeah.
And like I was like, what? Why was I saying these things?
But because people ate it up.
Yeah.
And so you're just doing, in your head, you're thinking like, oh, people are loving this. I'm going to continue doing this. I remember the first time I said it, people in the comments on the TikTok were like,
What'd you call me?
They said, because you said that, I watched like the whole thing. Or like I listened to you because
I needed
you
to
said
be
that.
disrespected so I could
And
respect
so I was
you.
like, and I was like, wait a minute, like, hold on, I'm onto something. So like the next video I did it, and then like it pops off, because the algorithm sees how long people are watching everything. People are interacting, being like, you just call me a pussy, but then other people are like, bro, this is
Algorithm
fucking
picks
sick.
up on bashing the audience.
Yeah, that's how it is. And so, everybody just ate that up. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna soak this.
Okay.
And then that's what I did. But then eventually, like as I grew out of it, I was like, okay, like I don't need to start every fucking video or every TikTok like it.
Where do you see where you're at now in terms of like your persona?
I don't think there's any persona anymore.
Like, do you have to connect with, like, let's say the people that you had, like the more, we'll call it like the bro, like the super bro, or like that kind of like leaning into it, right? And you have that audience that is maybe the younger of the 17, 18, 19 that like are still kind of in that. Do you feel like you have to keep maintaining that a little bit to have that small like audience, or are you like, I'm just going to evolve as I age with the audience as they age directly with me?
I think slightly I do keep a little bit in that, just because that is part of me. Like I am,
Yeah.
I think I'll always be like that fucking dickhead who flexes in the mirror or whatever.
You got to.
I think that'll always be a part of me. But I think with me, I could care less about catering towards like the really young people and like trying to like constantly grow and grow. But I would rather like keep on growing, like how you said, with your audience, like, because some of these guys have been watching me for 3-4 years or 2-3 years. So they were 16 and now they're 18. So they've matured. So I think it's really cool how I'm maturing, and I still talk to some of these guys and they're maturing as well with me.
Bro, wait till I have people in my audience that'll be like, Max, I watched you in high school and now I am about to have a baby.
Yeah.
And
and
you're
so
like,
they're growing
"What?"
with you. And I think it's super dope when they're also growing with you, and like they're starting to get jobs and they're starting to make their own money. And like now my content's like turned towards businesses and shit like that. So I I still lift and I still have gym content, but I really enjoy like the other shit. And I'm talking to other people about paying taxes. Like
It's the best.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to try this year just to not pay taxes and see how it works out.
It's
It's a bold strategy.
Yeah.
We're going to see how it works,
I know a couple people who try that. It doesn't work out well.
I'm moving, what is it, Dubai? You don't pay taxes or something?
Dubai, Puerto Rico, very little.
You know Rob Lipset? You
Yeah.
know where that is?
Yeah.
He literally, we were in Las Vegas, and he's like,
He lives in Ireland, I thought.
no, now he lives in Marbella.
Okay.
But he's like, Max, dude, I figured out how to not pay taxes. And I'm like, all right, let's hear this, Rob. Like, please enlighten me on how you're not going to pay taxes. He's like, I'm going to get a home in Dubai and I'm going to create residency, and then I pay 0% taxes. I'm like, you think you found a loophole that the IRS is going to be like, God, he figured it out. He did it. Damn, we didn't think anyone else would do it.
I think it's sick. You have to spend. I think you can. You have to be there for a year and then spend 6 months.
I got a feeling it's more complicated than that.
I don't know, dude. I looked into it too, bro, because 2021, I paid like $400,000 in taxes. I do quarterly though.
Estimated, yeah.
Yeah, estimated.
1040 ES or something like that.
And then they hit me back and they're like, wait a minute, you didn't pay enough. It was like 440 or something.
That's fucking sick, bro. You know, it's a lot of people.
But I have a good account. I have a pretty good account. I think I might need a new one though. I don't know.
Have you ever publicly, not necessarily like how much total money you're making, but have you ever publicly said how much you're paying in taxes? Like, have you ever been like, oh, I just paid $400K?
I think I may have said it once on a Mogcast, but people kind of, at the time, Mogcast, like I said, the viewers are probably pretty young, and to them that probably doesn't mean much. But
What's taxes?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, what's funny is whenever you mention like how much, if you owe a lot in taxes, you'll get, a lot of times whenever you say something in a YouTube video, it's actually pretty crazy because every single person in the comment is actually a professional in that field, which is
It happens all the time.
Yeah, so everyone's like an accountant, and people will think that if you're paying a large amount in taxes, they're like, your CPA is garbage. You're this is garbage, and you're like, guys, like, if anything, it just means I'm making a large income,
right?
Which is like a good thing and a bad thing at the same time. But people will just learn as their pay increases, they'll be like, wait, I keep owing more in taxes and more in taxes and more in taxes, which fucking sucks.
I didn't know how bad it was until I actually started paying taxes. Because my parents would always be like, yeah, taxes this. Like when you're an adult, you're gonna have to pay taxes. I'm like, yeah, whatever, fuck taxes. And then like I started having every quarter I'm paying like whatever how much I'm paying. I'm like, Jesus, dude.
Yeah. You gotta start writing off more stuff.
Yeah.
Man.
I write off everything. I have everything. Every single thing. We're content creators. We can do it.
That's true. Like everything. The key is you balance a little bit to make sure that the IRS isn't like, and I'm no professional, so this is not financial advice, but it's also to be like, if the IRS ever audits you, you want to make sure that they're not like, you literally write off everything. Nothing is a personal expense. Yeah. Nothing. So you kind of got to like mix in like.
Have you ever been audited?
No.
Exactly. I don't know I know actually one person who got audited.
I think being audited is a fucking hoax.
Yeah.
I think it's fake.
Yeah, it's just to scare people. Out of all the people that I know, and I know a lot of people, one person has gotten audited. So with that being said, I think if we just keep on doing our thing, we'll get away with it, with writing off everything.
IRS is watching this right now.
I'm sure there's an employee out there watching, and he's probably like,
not that like, I think being audited would be a very annoying thing, but I think people always fear being audited. It sounds bad, has a bad stigma,
right.
But I think in reality, the only reason you should fear being audited by the IRS is if you were deliberately trying to evade taxes, right? I think if you get audited, first of all, they're going to do all the work. They're going to be like, I'm going to go through all your shit. And
it's like a free accountant almost.
Yeah, as long as that's a great way to look at it. It's like, as long as you're not literally trying to like avoid paying taxes, you're probably just going to hit with like hey, you couldn't have write off this shit you wrote off. You owe us this amount of money. And you're like, they're done all the work for you. That's what I think. In reality, I hope I'm never audited. I pay my taxes.
Me too. I also pay my taxes. I just told you guys I pay my taxes.
I pay stuff in my personal card. Not everything's a write-off.
I do. It's funny because my accountant's like, yeah, like whenever I make big purchases, I use my business card.
Yeah.
So my accountant will be like, hey, what's this? And I tell her, and she's like, okay, like I'll let that one slide.
You're like, I'm keeping up the image of being a sick fucking cunt.
I gotta post a story or whatever.
Yeah, no, I bought this Lambo and I posted a story, so that's a content right there.
That's what I did. So I recently got a G-Wagon. I traded the Urus because the G-Wagon
times are tough. Yeah,
6,000. Yeah, it was a downgrade. G-Wagon,
did anyone say that?
No. And me being the person I am, I was like, bro, nobody better fucking say this because I'm like, oh, I gotta keep up this whatever. But I really love the car. I was like, I'm tired of the Urus, but the G-Wagon is over 6,000 pounds, so you can write off all of it.
Yeah.
And it was gonna save me like 40 grand or something like that. And I'm like, dude, I need to do this, right?
You had to buy the $190,000 G-Wagon.
Yeah.
How much did you pay for the G-Wagon? You probably paid over sticker, right?
Yeah, it was
new or used?
It was brand new, 14 miles, 224, I think.
And it was probably what, 180 on the sticker? Or
yeah,
something?
I think 179 is what it is.
Why the fuck?
Yeah.
Did you?
What do you mean?
Bro, like what? You could have just not. What you?
Well, because I was bored of the Urus. You know, you ever get bored of your Lamborghini Urus? They get boring. No, I'm kidding. No, I seriously, before I got the Urus,
I was like, this car's just too fast.
Yeah, I wanted a G-Wagon. I really did. And but my buddy Giordani just got one. And I was like, oh, I can't fucking get a G-Wagon. He just got one. So I settled.
So does every fucking person on this planet who's like
in LA.
Yeah.
You drive downtown. There's a G-Wagon everywhere. But I was like, something about this car. I really like it. And
I mean, if you're really a baller, why don't you get like a Bugatti or something?
I'm not there yet. That's a different level.
Okay. So you're not.
And also, I'm not gonna daily.
Right?
I'm not gonna daily a Bugatti.
Okay. So before we get to, because I want to get to your lavish lifestyle, which is sick to watch, right?
It's really not. It's only cool because that's just how I make it look. I'm really good at what I do. I'll be honest.
What do you? Let's start with that. What do you do? We said like you make great content, but like, what do you do on a daily basis? Like not like literally like I fucking brush my teeth or whatever, but like what is your job? Like and what do you do and what's the time?
I sell. I'm a salesman via social media. If in reality, my main source of income is commission through products that I sell. So if we're gonna be completely honest, I'm a salesman over anything. I'm not an entertainer. I'm a salesman over anything.
You put that as that's
because that's my main source of income.
Okay.
So I think that me saying that I'm a comedian or entertainer or a fitness guy would do me a disservice because of how good I am at selling stuff.
What did you do to get to the point where people trust you enough or are influenced enough by you to be like, I want to support Brandon?
I think it's just because in the beginning I was always really real, and like people, they felt it. Like you can always kind of tell.
Yeah.
And they felt it, and I take pride in the fact that like I've never like switched up brands, and I don't bash anybody, but I've always like stayed really true to the people who took care of me like right in the beginning. For example, like Gorilla Mind and Young LA, like these are companies that I've been with for 2.5 years, and never once did I like, talk bad about them or do anything against them.
Yeah.
And so they also appreciate that, so they treat me well. And that's why I'm like here in Los Angeles, because now I work hands on with Young LA. I make clothes, so that's another thing is like I make clothes. I design clothes.
Okay. So so kind of inspiring people to be your true self, we'll say. Was there anything you did on social? You said you blew some TikToks. Was there anything that kind of like really escalated your growth?
No, nothing.
Do you have like a key thing you did?
Absolutely nothing.
Because you said you've been doing content for what, 2-3 years?
Yeah.
Okay.
But my it was never exponential. There was never like one thing that was just like poof, skyrocket to the top. It was always just linear. Just always.
Because I've been making content for 10 years and you're way fucking cooler than me online. So I need to know what you're doing.
What do you mean? What do you mean by cooler?
I mean, dude, your engagement's great. You're making a lot of sales and whatnot. I need to know the secret sauce.
I couldn't tell you, bro, because people ask me all the time. They're like, dude, how do I need a tip, right? And I'm like, dude, I don't know. I tell them I don't know. I'm an anomaly. Like when I first started off with Young LA and my first couple of months with them, and I'm talking to Gary, and he's like, bro, like we don't see this ever. I've never seen numbers like this from just a random guy who has 15K followers on Instagram who's doing, I don't know, 500 sales.
Yeah.
Back then.
Do you think that, because I think a lot of people probably are like, who are like, they want your advice, or they're like, hey, like, how do I, like sell as much as you do, whatever, because it's easy to replicate the type of personality you kind of a little bit embody, right? But it's very difficult to truly like replicate an individual who has that thing about them. And it's hard to describe what that thing is, because there's a lot of gym bras who are jacked, who wear sunglasses in the gym for whatever reason. But they're not you, and they're never going to be you, and they're not going to be able to convert as well as you do. And a lot of times it's hard for people to like, what is it? Like, what is that thing? And I think a lot of people are like, they chase kind of, they try to figure out like a loophole or like a secret of having success. And in reality, it's just kind of like in who you are. It's like your innate ability to just be you. And even if you're maybe pulling inspiration and personality traits from maybe people before you or whatever, where people are going to compare you to, at the end of the day, you still bring that secret sauce. And I think that's what separated you, is you're still unique, even though, again, you were like, oh, I'm going to kind of like similar to kind of how Ziz and whatever. Not like you were, that was like your goal, but like you have like that secret sauce, and it's hard to replicate.
Yeah. I don't know what it is. I couldn't tell you.
You're like, I don't even know why people buy my shit.
I might be gatekeeping, but I really just don't know. I think it's just being in the game for so long, not for so long, because people have been doing this for 5-10 years, whatever. But for me, always just like interacting with people, and there's something I think there's something about me and a couple of other people who are good at looking cool. Like
I want to be good at looking cool.
Like
Oz, we need to be good at looking cool, dude.
Just weird shit. Like it's hard to explain. Just like you can't teach it. It's just,
you know what it is? You're tall.
Yeah, that could be it too.
You're tall.
Yeah, that might be it.
Pretty much everyone over 6 foot looks way cooler than everyone under 6 foot.
Yeah, but it's
true.
Sure, but it's also I don't want to. It's also just like how someone speaks and just carries himself. It's just there's just something that me, and this sounds super arrogant, but like me and like a few other people have that just others don't. Like the way that I always say, it's like you either got it or you don't. You can't teach some of this, and it sucks. And you can try, and you can be good at you can be really good at trying, and you can come really close, but you either got it or you don't.
I definitely agree with you, and it's similar to how a lot of people who have, I always push people to start social media, start YouTube. It's obviously a lot. It's getting more and more difficult each year. But for the longest time, I'd always have people come up to me and be like, "Hey, I want to start a YouTube channel. Hey, how do I be popular? How do I be have the success that you have?" And it truly is like some people like you just have it or you don't, and it's impossible to describe what that is. But it's just something about, because again, there once was a time when you had to be the leanest, you had to be the strongest, you had to be the funniest, you had to be this. But now there's so many people that are gonna be better than you at that thing, that it's like you just have to have that inner, like not only your personality and just like it's the secret sauce, dude.
Yeah, I think a lot of it has to do with how you are in front of a camera, because that's the way that you're. Like I'm in front of this camera right now, and that's all they know.
Yeah.
So like how you are in front of the camera, how charismatic you are, how much of a character you are. Ever since I was a kid, even when I was like 4 or 5 years old, my mom's friends would always be like, "He's such a character." Like always, I heard that so much. I had no idea what that meant. I was like, does that mean I'm animated? Like I have expressions, whatever. Yeah. I had no idea what that meant, but I heard that all the time. And now looking back on it, like it's starting to make sense. And like my sister would always be like, "Oh, you're gonna be famous one day." Like I don't know. I swear to God,
you said that.
I swear to God, she would always be like,
so "You knew you were gonna be famous, bro."
Well, I was like, "What are you talking about?" Blah blah. I was like, "I don't want to be famous, this and that." And I remember being a kid, and my mom would be like, "Oh, you got to be careful because one day, like, you might be president." And I'm not saying I want to be president, but
you want to be president?
No, I don't want to be president. But it made me think, like, okay, they knew, like, some way, somehow, I'd be somebody. So I don't know what it is, and I don't think anybody will be able to find out what it is. It sucks because you don't want to tell somebody to like quit, because that's not good. But it when you see someone like constantly try, and it's like all right, switch it up or try something different, because this isn't working.
I can definitely, and it's hard to describe, but like I can meet someone and talk to them for 5 minutes, and I can in that time frame be like, you have what it takes to like be a somebody. Mm-hmm. And it's like, and I also can tell if it's like you're trying too hard to do this isn't working for you. And and I never like want to tell these people because I don't want to crush dreams, but like, and who knows, I could be wrong, and I want to be wrong, especially if I'm like saying, hey, maybe this isn't for you. And it's like, maybe it's not this exact thing, but you can figure out another angle to approach this goal you're trying to achieve so hard and not maybe having the success that you want to have. And for a lot of people, it's hard. They think that like there's only one path to stardom or success. And it's like, I have to be a YouTuber. I have to be a TikToker. And it's like, maybe you can still be in the space, but you can deviate a little bit from that plan and find like what works for you.
You said try too hard. And I think that's like, that's very key.
Yeah.
Like going back to what I was saying is, I don't know what it is. Like, we're just cool. I think like trying the perfect amount, like not trying too hard, and like having that cool, like, I'm not even trying to do this. Like, I'm not even trying to be this cool.
I'm just cool.
Yeah, exactly. That's what's so cool. So trying too hard is something that I think a lot of people do, because it's like, if you try so hard to be this, like, it's just going to run away from you.
Yeah.
Like, you're just going to keep pushing it away if you're trying so hard to like do it.
I agree with you.
So it's almost like lay off a little bit and just like relax, do what you want, play that like whatever type of, but you can't play. That's the thing, is you can't play it. Like, you got to have that.
It's like having swagger, dude.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it is.
You can't just be like, tomorrow I'm gonna start having swag.
Yeah,
You got it or you don't.
You can't wake up with it. Exactly. You're born with it.
Well, unless you hop out of bed and turn your swag on.
Yeah.
Do you know
Yes,
that?
No, wait. Yeah, wait. Wait. Play the song. Can we like play the song so we know?
I'll sing in the exact tune. You ready? Hopped up out the bed, turned my swag on, took a look.
That's Soulja Boy, right?
Yes.
Okay. I just want to make sure.
You're a young Draco.
Yeah.
The what did he create? Like Game Boys recently or something?
Soulja Boy did?
Yeah, he like would create a bunch of like China knockoff. He came out with like literally like a Game Boy and like headphones and like he's doing better than we are.
He's an
So,
entrepreneur. There we go.
He is. But it's like the stuff he'd come out with. It was like wow. You're like he was just like here's some new shit. You're like Soulja Boy. It's a Game Boy. It was called like a Soulja Boy or something or so like it was a game. I don't know what the fuck I'm saying, dude.
It can't be Game Boy because that would just be Game Boy.
It was literally like he came out with a Game Boy or something similar to it, or like a game console or something. It was just out of left field. Like, what are you doing?
I did hear that.
I digress from Soulja Boy, but speaking of being super fly and stuff, because of your success over the past short time, bro, like 2-3 years of doing this and having the level of notoriety and stardom and success you've had is pretty rare, to be honest. I mean, I've been doing it for 10 years and it took me 2 to 3 years for me to even like start it. Times are different, right? But it took me and even like Christian back in the day, like a couple years to even start having momentum. It wasn't this.
And y'all were grinding.
We were. Yeah.
That's the thing is this sounds messed up too. I never struggled. I never grinded. I never was like, fuck, dude, like I gotta bang out this TikTok or like bang out this video. And I had like,
you were just so cool.
Exactly. I just had it, but it never was like grinding for like 500 views. And then it was like 600. I never had that. So I'm very fortunate to just jump in. Yeah. Jump in. And like some of these kids who I think, I shouldn't say kids because now we're all grown men. I think some of these people, they still hold this envy because they were doing this shit for so long. And then like these random kids from TikTok, me and a couple other people just kind of hopped in and we're like, yeah, we're going to run this shit. Like we're going to control what the fuck is cool and what's not.
You just like, we're like, I feel like I'm ready to start being really popular online.
Yeah.
I think
this is now my
the
time.
video and there it is. Yeah. 1 million views. That's crazy.
The thing is I had no idea that it was going to be like that. I was just like, okay, this is going to make a funny TikTok. But then it started rolling. But I think now people, they still hold that grudge a little bit. And they're like, oh, dude, fuck these kids. Like, oh, maybe they're happy for me and like they're super hyped. But at the end of the day,
their fist behind the back, like kind of thing. And with all the success you've had, dude, you've had a lot of. I think of one of your things is being the guy that spends a lot of money.
Yeah.
Why don't we get into that?
So, to be fair, I am really smart. I do have an account, and my mom, she's on all my books. So every charge,
you're like, I am really smart. My mom's my accountant, so
she was my accountant.
Okay.
Then I got my own accountant because my mom's Korean, so my grandfather was an accountant. So she knew how to, and she does my family's whole taxes. Okay. So she does it all.
It gets a lot more complicated as someone like
exactly.
You.
So so 2021, she was like, I can't fucking do this anymore. So we got an accountant, but she's still logged into my thing, so she can see every single charge I make. So she keeps me in check. And like, as long as she told me, she's like, as long as you're paying your taxes and you're doing XYZ with this amount of money and like you're saving it, then I don't care what the fuck you spend it on. So I'm like, okay, cool. So I'm not stupid. I know, I just like spending money. Like I like being bougie. Like we went to the Lakers game yesterday to see LeBron break the all-time scoring record. And we bought the tickets 2 hours before.
How much did you pay for those tickets?
$600 each. Because I'm smart.
That doesn't seem like much.
And guess what? We were row 8. I could see the sweat off LeBron breaking the record. Row 8, $600 on SeatGeek, not an ad.
How is that game $600 a ticket when I took my girlfriend for our anniversary to the Cowboys game and I bought them a week before and it was a Cowboys game and I paid like $1,700 for 2 tickets.
And a week ago, some of the tickets were like 10 grand for the Lakers game. But I always was told that concert tickets or sporting events, the best time to buy is right before because people, they're shit comes up.
Yeah.
So they toss them up on SeatGeek. They toss them up on Ticketmaster. So I asked my buddy, I was like, yo, you want to go to the Lakers game? And he's like, yeah, sure. And I was like, don't ask the price or whatever, because I found $600 each. And they were row 8. They're the best seats I've ever had at a sporting event. And I saw LeBron break the record.
He put more basketballs in the hoop than anyone else.
Yeah, in history.
Do you think the people on LeBron's team are like, kind of like, oh, fuck it, he broke another goddamn record again.
Yeah.
Every play is just like, the coach is like, all right, for this play, it's going to be give LeBron the ball.
It honestly, they weren't even playing defense. I swear to God, like, once they realized he was going to get it, they were kind of just like, okay, like, they're going through the motions. Because, like, the one shot that he hit to beat the record, the dude didn't even put his hand up. It was kind of just like you could tell it was just.
He let him hit the record.
Yeah. And then, like, they stopped the whole game in the middle of the third quarter. Everybody on the court. There's fucking people taking photos. He does a speech. His wife and his mom come on the court.
It's like he sinks the ball, and like 1 second later, someone comes up. They just stop the game.
Yeah, I swear to God, that's how it was. And so it was like almost like it's planned. He was either going to do it this game or the next game in Milwaukee, but it happened yesterday. But going back to what I was saying is, I justified the tickets because I was like, okay, I'm gonna post this on my Snapchat.
In a story, it's gonna be a write off, bro.
I'm gonna story this. I'm gonna get hella good content. I posted a picture today that's doing really well. So that's how I'm thinking. I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm spending $1,200 on these tickets, but in turn, I'm not getting cash back.
Well, I heard that if you get over 1,000 likes in your photos, the IRS considers it a write off.
Is that true?
Yeah, no, it is.
You swear to God?
Yeah, no.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say that's really weird. Like,
just like because
1,000 likes.
Everyone now it's gonna be like, anything I do, if I post a story of it, I can write it off.
Yeah,
to
the thing
IRS.
is you have to, like, I have a corporation.
Yeah.
So like,
no, I'm just giving you shit, bro.
Not you guys. Like, no, not everyone. Don't start blowing money. But yeah, so I like spending money and I like posting about it. And I know some people are like, oh, you're just shoving our money, like you're shoving your money in our face.
But some people, you do it in a, okay, so me, for example, I've been on the social medias for a decade now, and I've gone through a lot of different like kind of phases or something where I will, if I buy something, I'll get a lot of flack for it for trying to show off whatever. I remember, so I bought the Juste on Clue.
Yeah, me too.
Nail bracelet, right? Sick one.
Twins,
bracelet, dude.
twins.
People think it's silver. It's white gold, man.
Yeah, it's white
Like,
gold.
it actually costs a little bit more than the gold one.
It's white gold.
But
I was confused about that. I was like, why would this be more?
Yeah,
but
it's
because
weird.
it's white. It's
I don't
white
know.
Gold.
But I bought this for my 29th birthday for myself. It was just kind of like some people buy, they hit like a milestone. Usually people buy Rolexes. I think you have Rolex or 7, right? So I don't have Rolex, but
3.
I could never wrap my head around spending a bunch of money on a watch. But like when I bought this, I guess I understood it wasn't even a milestone. It was just like, hey, my birthday, like I've worked really hard. I've always liked this jewelry piece, even though, I understand you're paying for the name. You can get whatever.
You can get
I
the
was
same thing for however much dollars.
I was like, I don't give a fuck. I was like, I've liked this for a while. I am at a point of financial success that I want to treat myself. And it's a reminder of like, I worked really hard to get this. And I get at the end of the day, it doesn't fucking mean anything. Like, I don't need to have this to prove to myself. But when I posted about it, for my audience, I got a lot of negative pushback of like, you're showing off, you're doing this.
So you posted the nail.
Yeah, and saying like, hey guys, I bought it for myself for my birthday. Right. It wasn't just like,
and people were like swiping up and being like saying these nasty things.
Yeah. Even on like my YouTube and stuff, I talked about it and like I gave the reasoning, and people were just like, you're trying to show off, you're trying to flex your money, and I was like,
I'll tell you where you were wrong, because I do the same shit. Is you're justifying it to them. It doesn't fucking matter. I'm still working on it because it's in the back of our mind. We're content creators and we care about what other people think about us. So in the back of our mind, we're saying, oh, dude, like I bought this and like they're gonna think XYZ. We're already thinking that they're gonna be thinking bad about it, but they're probably not going to. And the fact that you made a big deal about it and you talked about it like, hey guys, I bought this because this and that. I bought this because this and that, and when it was really good because I thought about it for a while and everything. That's when they can almost sense subconsciously. This is might be totally bullshit, but they can almost sense subconsciously that you are feeling a little bit insecure about it. Like, so they're gonna fucking attack you because they know they're gonna get inside of your head and you're gonna read their comment and you're gonna be upset about it and talk about it a couple weeks later.
Well, my shit is kind of, it's more like I share literally everything in my life. So I was like, hey, this is just something that I did.
Right.
I am showing you, like, it's just like me eating Chipotle. Like, I'm showing you what I'm doing. And I bought this because it's like, you know, it's almost like you're damned if you do, damned if you don't, because it's like, if I didn't show it, then I'd either be like trying to hide it and trying to hide that I'm successful or whatever, that I can afford it. Or it's like, you know, it was like, I just felt like I got screwed, whatever. And it's interesting. And the reason I bring that up is, you know, you are an individual and there's a lot of people that like buy a lot of nice things on a regular basis. And, you know, for me, for someone who understands, you know, the money that goes into doing that, I'm like, okay, well, they must be making X to be able to buy this. I don't think it's some, you know, facade. Right. But I also think there is a benefit to, some people get motivation by seeing, like, look how successful this guy is. He can not like look at the shit he's buying, but it's like he's worked to be able to afford this. He can afford this. This is inspiration. This is motivation. Whereas like I kind of, with my audience, it's like I would almost be always afraid to buy something nice because I wasn't that guy who like motivated people by showing what I can afford. Mm-hmm. So I was like, I can't buy anything nice because then it's going to look like I'm flexing.
Yeah. I think, no, you're right, because it's tough for you because that's how you condition that's how your content is. But at least for me, as soon as I started getting paid, I grew up like
spend it.
Yeah. My parents, my mom, she invented Zoo Pals. So do you know Zoo Pals, the plates with the animal face?
I probably,
if I showed you a photo, let me show you a photo just because I mean, I hope you know. Because
she invented Zoo Pals?
Yeah, she was a graphic designer at Hefty, and she was given this assignment, these plates.
Okay, yeah.
So, like, in, like, 2000s, if you guys look at that, in, like, 2000s.
So your mom's a billionaire. That's cool.
No, well, the thing is she got, like, a little bonus, but, like, people always assume that she was super rich. But
yeah.
That's, like, where I think I get my creativity from, is from her. But, so she was a head graphic designer at Hefty. So we were making a lot of like a good amount of money for the household, and I was never spoiled. Never, I wasn't spoiled, but I always saw like money comes and goes. Like you work for it, you get it, you spend a little, you save a little, and then it's a cycle. So I think as soon as I started getting paid, that's immediately how I thought, is like, okay, I save X amount, I have this amount to spend, I'm gonna do whatever the fuck I want with it. So whether it's a car or it's a piece of jewelry, that's just how it goes. That's just how, when I started. So now it's almost like if I buy another Rolex, like I recently just got a new one, and not one person that I see be like, what the fuck, bro? Like, you're a fucking idiot. Like, why are you doing this? It was, yo, how much did you get it for? That's a great pickup. That's a great piece. Because now people are starting to understand, like, it doesn't matter what I say.
You know, I'm not saying everyone should blow all their money, but it's kind of a wild concept, is that the idea of like not spending your money, right, is in case you never make money anymore.
Right. And
it's like almost like, why would you have the mentality of, oh, I definitely shouldn't buy anything nice or anything above. I'm not talking about like, I make $30K a year, I'm gonna go fucking buy a Rolex or like, you get what I'm trying to say, right? Don't live outside your means, but like, if you have a bunch of money in savings, but you're like, oh, I never want to spend it on anything because I'm just been ingrained to like save it forever.
What kind of life is that?
Yeah, it's like this is a very deep argument and a deep conversation to kind of go into. Where
money's very touchy.
It is.
It's very taboo, except for people that have money.
Yeah, but it's almost like if you have money, and it sounds weird. And again, this is if I wanted to go into like a 2-hour conversation about money, but it's kind of like you're keeping a bunch of money in the bank just in case you ever stop making money.
Right.
And it's like why won't you just buy some nice things that don't break the bank? And it's relative for every individual, right? Sure. Like that scales with people.
When Gary, the owner of Young LA, there was one time, I forgot what we were talking about, and I was like, yeah, I really want this, but I don't have enough money. Or it was something having to do with like coming out here to LA. And I was worried I wasn't going to be for some reason I was worried that I wasn't gonna be able to afford living out here. And
When you recently moved here?
yeah. And just because I had so many doubts, like, dude, I was living.
Well, you hear LA being, it is expensive as shit.
And I was living here with no furniture for 2 weeks because I ordered my furniture. I had nothing except my mattress. And I know that doesn't sound crazy, but for 2 weeks, an empty apartment is really depressing. It started to like fuck with me in my head. And I'm like, dude, I would be in my bed and I'm like, am I making the wrong decision? Like, and I think it was because this apartment was empty. It was cold. It was just my mattress on the ground. I was like, this fucking sucks. I was like, this is the wrong move. This is not what I want to do. And I would talk to him about it. And I was like, he would say, why are you worried about like saving money and like you not being able to afford it? Just make more money. Like just work harder.
I literally made a video not too long ago where I referenced, one of my buddies said that forever ago. He's like, it's like, instead of worrying about like how much something costs, he's like, just worry about how you can make more money.
Right.
It's like focus on making more money rather than, oh, that just cost me a bunch of money. It's like, okay, how do I make more money?
So that's how, and that's kind of, he kind of said it as a joke because he like giggled after, but it really does, like it makes sense. So I don't really worry about like, oh fuck, like, and I'm not like, if 5 years from now, like I have zero income, like where's my money at? I'm not worried about that. I'm just worried about making that 5 years never happen. Like, you know what I'm saying? Never getting to that point.
Yeah. I guess you kind of like, you're like, I'm going to work in a way that like, I like to think of my life of like, I'm never going to fail because I can't fail. Mm-hmm. Like I'm going to continue to persevere and grow and motivate and like, or, motivate myself to continue to make more money, to be able to help the people around me have, live the life that I want to live, my loved ones, help them live the life that they want. And I'm like, I never need to worry about that because my mentality is I'm going to keep fucking going. Mm-hmm. Like I'm going to keep pushing. I'm going to keep working. So that's like failure is not an option.
Yeah.
Like it truly is not.
It's almost like I'm so used to this where I can't step back. Like I can't go backwards. So I need
ever forward, dude.
Right. Ever forward. So I need to keep going.
Yeah.
Like I can't go backwards. I can't downgrade. Right. I can't do that.
How much rent is this apartment?
$5,800.
What?
$5,800.
Oh my fucking God. Your rent is $6,000?
Yeah.
Holy shit, bro.
I didn't think that was that crazy. I thought
that is stupid.
And I tell my parents this all the time.
Oh my God.
They always like, I was actually just talking about it today because I recently got hit like with a bill and I have to fix my car. And they were like, yeah, it's going to be X amount of dollars.
Just buy a new one, bro.
They like, it's going to be X amount of dollars. But he didn't tell me yet. And he was like, are you sure you don't want to pay with insurance? And I'm like, just tell me the number, bro. Like, I'll decide. And then he was like, he said $10,000 to fix my car. And I was like, oh yeah, I'll just pay that out of pocket. But it made me think that's how I think now. And then maybe that's a bad thing. But like $5,800 for this apartment, I'm like, I'm glad to pay $5,800. I like this apartment's sick. I love this apartment.
I mean, you can definitely look at it as a way of like, I'm very privileged to be able to afford a $6,000 a month apartment and not have to worry about bills. I almost think that it's
like I thought that it was normal. I was like, okay, like I'm making this amount of much, and this percentage of it is going to my rent. Like that's pretty reasonable.
Well, in respect to income, it's all relative.
Right.
It's all relative. I had one of my friends. I won't mention his name. He's not like a social media guy. He's just like a really wealthy real estate buddy I have, and one time he made kind of the analogy to me. And he was like, he's like, yeah, whenever people like kind of talk about like he has like a bunch of like Bentleys and lives in fucking penthouse downtown Houston and shit like that. And he's like, whenever people are like trying to, say, oh, you're stupid for spending this much money. He's like, I don't think you guys understand. He's like, let me give you an analogy. He's like, when you go to the gas station and you buy I don't know, fucking sandwich or a snack or something, and it's like $5, $6. Like you're like, oh, okay, whatever. He's like, that's like the car to me. He's like, in relation to my income, he's like, that is like just buying a sandwich for me. Like, or that is like this. He's like, how you don't, and then when you make more money, when you go to a restaurant, maybe when you were younger, $50 for two people to go to a date was like a lot of money.
Right.
And it is for a lot of people, but now you're at a point where like, okay, when I go out for a date for two people and it's $120, I don't sweat it. He's like, it's that, it just scaled in levels. Are you kind of open to talking about your finances?
Yeah, I would say I've never like said how much money I've made, but a lot of people have said.
How much money are you making? How much money a month do you average? And I don't want you to inflate. I do not want you to inflate it.
Okay, I won't tell you how much money I'm making a month, but I will tell you how much money I made in a month. I'll tell you my best month.
Okay.
My best month ever was $155,000. That's my best month.
When was that?
I'm not saying.
Why?
Well, it was November.
Okay.
So November of last year. Because
$155,000 in 1 month. Yeah. Now you got to pay taxes on that, obviously.
Yeah.
So I would probably say you're ballparking. We'll put a big range, 50 to 100,000 a month.
Okay. I'm not gonna say yes or no.
Why? You said you're open.
Why? Well,
this man bought a Lamborghini Urus, then sold it, got a G-Wagon, has what Mercedes
GT63S,
whatever that is. Fucking bought another Rolex.
Okay, so
you go to the club every weekend and are buying bottle service.
So actually, I don't go out every weekend anymore. I used to go out every weekend back in Houston.
I stopped last weekend.
No. But actually, Derek from More Place More Dates, he was on a podcast with Dan Bilzerian, and he actually leaked. He said on the podcast, one of my two top athletes at the time were pulling in around $50K a month from Gorilla Mine, and so he leaked that. So I'm actually a little bit more. That makes me more comfortable talking about it, just because it's been out there before.
Here, let me ask you this though, and I'm not going to pry deeper than you want to go, but I guess why are you so okay with showing the things that you buy and showing the material things, but not okay with saying how much you make?
It's like mysterious, but also like income is such a, like you can buy all the things in the world, but like saying your income is something is just so taboo about it, where it's like, oh, he said his income.
Do you think it's because people are going to perceive you in a different way? Do you think if you were making $60,000 a month or $120,000 a month, do you think people's view would change?
No, not going to be any different. So actually, it's pretty fucking sick. Okay, that's and one of the things that I really don't like is because I know how much a lot of people are making, just because I can tell, I can kind of gauge. And something that I really don't like, and I think is very just not truthful, like just very dishonest, is like almost acting like
you're making more money than you are.
No, acting like you're making less to convert. I fucking hate that.
Well, it's just, and that's, I mean, a lot of people look at I don't follow these creators. I'm very aware of who they are, and if I saw them out in public, I could know them. But like, there's these big content creators like Moise Critical. Is that his name?
I have no idea.
Like super long hair, does like commentate. He's always on my For You, or he's always on my like recommended. He gets like 2 million views a video. This guy, I know he's making just millions of dollars. Like, know it.
Yeah.
But his content, like you look at his camera setup and his room and everything, and it looks, he's wearing like a plain white t-shirt in every single video. But I think some people, it's not like they're trying to like downplay how much money they make. I think it's just like they don't want to like elevate and become unrelatable by that. And it's like you have to kind of dance that line of like people want you to succeed. People want you to do better. But there's that fine line of like, if I started at nothing, and in whatever years it is, maybe some people are more successful faster, like 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, whatever the time frame is. If you start making millions of dollars and you're like, I can elevate my life, not like live outside my means so I can elevate it, but like, should you not do that because you don't want to be like relatable? It's like, it's kind of like a mental question.
But like, you're not being, that's not, well, if you're, it's gonna go person to person, because if you're, acting this way, or if it's acting, then I think that's just like if you're deliberately trying to fool somebody,
Like, I can't afford this.
and saying things where you're making it seem like you can't afford it, or deliberately trying to like fool somebody. That's what I deem is like just not okay. But I totally get if it's like if you don't want to change your image at all, you want to stay relatable to your fan base. I totally get that, but just don't act like, don't go out of your way to fool somebody.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
No, I agree. What's the dumbest thing you've ever bought? Like, what are your like? I shouldn't have fucking wasted that much money on that experience, that thing, that night, that whatever.
Probably just plenty of times at the club. Like,
What's the most you've ever spent at the club?
me personally,
Yeah,
not crazy. Like,
$5,000.
yeah, like less than 5,000, because when we're out, we always like pitch in. Like, it's all, if I'm paying $3,000 and my buddy who's making half as much as me, I expect him to pay. What did I just say?
$3,000. So
I expect him to pay $1,500.
okay.
So if like we're all splitting it, so I don't expect them to go 50-50 on it, because that wouldn't be fair. I expect him to pay what he thinks is fair. Is like,
So so there's nothing you've bought that you like regret spending money on. You're like, whatever.
I don't think so, because I don't think I've ever made like a stupid purchase besides just spending a lot of money at the club. I mean, there are things where like I have what I like to call is like a middle car. Like, I bought when my first car when I was a creator broke down, I bought this Mercedes, and then like 3 months after that I bought this Range Rover, and then like 3 months after that I bought the Urus. That Range Rover was like a middle car, so I lost like 30 grand on it because I flipped it so fast where it was like, what are you doing?
Okay.
So something like that I think is pretty stupid, but like I also don't regret that because I learned from it.
You're a man who loves everything you spend his money on.
Yeah, maybe not necessarily love, but I don't think I don't hate. I don't have a bad purchase.
No regrets.
You're right. With the A.
With the A, dude.
Yeah.
I said a brain fart, dude. The shots are kicking in on me. With you, financially growing and growing and growing, and you mentioned earlier about how you're like a salesman. You're kind of, I would call it evolving from, my identity is to promote other people's stuff to now you started your sunglass company. Mm-hmm. Why did you decide to go down that route of owning something? And you have partners on that, right?
Yeah.
Why did you go down the route of like, I want to start my own brand rather than just like, I'm gonna, promote other people's stuff? Like, what was that like mind switch?
I think just longevity. Because like 10 years from now, I want, like how we were talking about earlier with sour strips, my sister that doesn't even know who you are and she fucking loves sour strips. Like, that's the goal. That's being able to sell a product without having your face on it or your name tied to it is ideal. So that's what I want to do with Boulevard. And I don't think I'll ever stop like promoting like something like Young LA, because with Young LA, I truly do feel like I'm a huge part of, and I almost consider it my own. Yeah. Not like I am, like I don't have any equity or whatever, but I do feel like it's part of my own. So something like that, I probably will never stop. But like with Boulevard, for example, I wanted to do it because that's that almost like that that key, like to the future, like to your way out. Like if I sell it one day or if I like retire off of it, that would be the goal.
Why sunglasses? Because you used to wear them.
Just because I used to wear them. Actually, shout out to.
But the sunglasses aren't the same.
No, they're not. They're not. They're actually like, I'm trying to make them really stylish.
Yeah.
Like, so I actually didn't come up with the sunglass thing. My buddy, Sam Grant, who lives in Houston, he was like, dude, you should start a sunglass company. And I was like, damn, that's a really good idea, bro. And then he gave me that idea.
How did you learn how to, are you, we don't have to talk about it. So are your business partners kind of secret? Like they don't.
No. They're the owners of Young LA.
Okay. So that's what I assumed.
Yeah. And one of them, Robbie, who's kind of more like the back end owner, like they both own it the same or whatever, but Gary's more of like the face, and Robbie is like the kind of the man behind the scenes a little bit, and him and I are actually really into like clothes and sunglasses and stuff. So him and I actually have a good time. We have a really good time of like figuring out what pairs we want to do and what styles we want to do. But I'm starting to realize how fucking hard it is.
Yes.
Like it's way harder than I thought.
Why did you, I guess, why did you want to, did you immediately, when you were like, okay, I'm going to start this sunglass company, where you're like, hey, guys who have great experience in the manufacturing industry, hey, I'd love for you to partner up on me. Was there any thought of like, I want to do this all by myself, or did you?
No, that was immediately when I wanted to do sunglasses, I was like, okay, I need help because I have no clue where to start. And people like them, I really trust them. Like I trust them with my life, where I was like, okay, let's do this together. And interestingly enough, they actually wanted to do a sunglass company before Young LA got really big. They were kind of into it already.
Yeah.
So we already had like manufacturers kind of like in the, like back in the phone book or whatever. So it kind of worked out.
How hands-on are you with the brand? Like what is your goal with being the owner? Where some people, there's a lot of individuals that are really just like the face of the brand, and they're not doing the operations, which is a whole skill set in itself. And I understand why people would not want to do that, or not only it's like, that's not my expertise, why the fuck would I go into that? Mm-hmm. Or like, I have no interest in it. Like how hands-on are you in the company, and how hands-on do you want to be?
So right now I approve every single style, every single color, every single lens. I have final say on every single sunglasses that pair of sunglasses that come out. Every photo that we post, every caption, not necessarily I write it out, but I'm a part of. So I don't run the IG. Like, of course, sometimes I'll do whatever I want, but I don't actually run the IG. But I would say I'm pretty involved on the marketing side and like the creative side, and designing. But the manufacturing side, I have no part of.
Yeah.
We have somebody who speaks to the manufacturers for us, and they send us the samples, and I receive the sample. We look at them and we approve it, or we send it back 2 weeks later, another one. That's how it works.
What's your kind of, so you just started this, it launched a couple weeks ago,
a couple months ago.
Okay. Yeah. A couple months ago. Did extremely well, right? I saw a lot of all
it
sold out.
Yeah, we have I think we sold out about like 50% of our inventory, and now we realize, okay, so these 3 or 4 styles, they didn't do that good. So now we know what people like, like now we know the shape, or we know the color, and now we're starting to understand what people like.
The trickiest part, I imagine, with something like that is, an individual can only have so many pairs of sunglasses, right?
Yeah.
And, even if you come out with like, there's no, when someone comes out clothes, like Young LA, I know has, a release every 4 days with 800 items, right?
Yeah.
Because people always want, different clothes, different colors.
New shit.
But an item like sunglasses, that's where it gets tricky, because people not only like, there may be a new style they want, but like most people don't have 20 pairs of sunglasses, right? They have maybe like their top 5, like 5 sunglasses. Like I only have a couple that I swap between, right? Have you found that to be like a challenge of like, oh, we had a crazy kind of initial release and hey, everything's back, and it's kind of like slowed a little bit? Because the biggest thing with sunglasses would be like customer acquisition. It'd be like finding new customers.
Coming back. So that's something that we thought about, but we're kind of banking on the sunglasses just kind of selling themselves. Like your friend being like, yo, where'd you get those? Word of mouth. And I think so far it's working, because like the first or like the 3 that people really love, like we get DMs every day, like, yo, when are these coming back? When are these coming back? So I think that is, word of mouth is number 1. But I kind of want to break the stigma. Some of the glasses, like right now, they're $90 and they're titanium.
Okay.
Some people think they cost like $1 or $2.
No.
Yeah, that's real shit, and so they're pretty expensive to make. But once we like dial that in, and I want people to be able to, get one once a month, or like what's trendy.
Do you know what type of lenses you're using for the sunglasses?
What do you mean?
Like a lot of people,
like the UV.
No, it'd be like a lot of people would like the most expensive probably are like a Zeiss lens, which is Zeiss is a company that makes, not only camera lenses but the lenses, because a lot of sunglasses.
Honestly, I have no idea.
Okay, so
maybe I should probably know.
Well, I know a little bit about the I mean, large, like one of the largest manufacturers of sunglasses in the world is a company called Luxottica. That's who makes, Burberry. They make Ray-Ban.
They're probably
now.
Italy, right? Because I think a lot.
I don't know where they're based, but they're just like, there's like a couple companies that make all the sunglasses for all the brands. It's like even Ray-Ban doesn't make Ray-Bans anymore. Luxottica goes through that. And a lot of it, people use different types of lenses. And do you know who Aaron Marino is? Alpha M. So he's a big fashion. He's been around YouTube for fucking a long time.
Maybe I do know.
So he's a great salesman. He's wildly successful, bro, like crazy. He started a sunglass company called Enemy. And again, he's a great salesman. And he was kind of like going with this route with, this around the $100 price point and with these crazy expensive lenses, crazy expensive, spring hinges, which is like a big, again, upsell, I guess you would say, convert rather than like plastic hinges, but having like the spring hinges for people who have bigger heads or, have a little bit more give.
We have a pair like that.
And it's great. But something that he found was like the sunglass world's a very difficult one just because like finding kind of like what is your selling point? Because there's, you said yours are around $90. So you're not going like not a luxury brand as it's not a great pair of sunglasses, but you're not going for the $300 sunglasses. You're competing in that around $100.
I don't think they would sell at 150 plus just because of right now. Most of my followers are in the ages of like probably 16 through 20. So not everybody's willing to spend 200 plus on sunglasses. So we wanted to keep it as low as we could. But in our next coming, because we haven't had a drop in like a month, and it's actually pretty depressing because I feel like I'm not doing anything. But we have
you didn't know when you launch anything, you have no idea how it's going to do.
Yeah.
You couldn't have predicted the success of it, so you didn't know kind of like what to anticipate.
The next styles that we have, it's a material called acetate. Yeah. So they're not titanium, and they're going to be cheaper. So they're going to be around like the $60 after a discount code or whatever. So we're hoping with that, people will be more inclined to like buy two. Like you get two different styles, or like you get one for your friend. So rather than like spending $90 on one, you're getting like two or three, and these are going to be like, because they are acetate, you can kind of form them. They have different colors and shit versus like titanium. You can only do like gold, black, chrome. So with the other colors,
acetate.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or acetate, sorry, acetate.
Yeah.
It's spelled ace.
Yeah, I think it's acetate. I was like,
it's like almost like plastic.
Yeah.
It's like a fancy word for saying plastic, but it's a plastic pair. But we're gonna do like strong hinges and everything. And ideally, like people are gonna be able to. I want people to be able to wear them with their fit. Like, so if your outfit has like a little bit of red, like you wear fucking red sunglasses. So I want that's what I'm trying to go for. Like more of the fashion route rather than just like for protection, because some of the sunglasses we're doing lenses that like don't protect your eyes at all. They just look sick. Like you can wear them inside.
No one cares about protecting their eyes these days, dude.
Like you could wear them in the club. Like
what?
Yeah. Like you ever see
you wearing sunglasses in the club?
Yeah, of course. I wear like we all wear, because you just fucking look sick. And like girls, they love wearing sunglasses in the club. Like I've had some DMs being like, yo, you need to make these because these are what I want to wear in the club.
I mean, I would imagine you look cool in the club, but you also cannot see anything in the club.
But when can you ever see
You're like,
anything?
I don't know what the fuck's going on, but I look cool.
Yeah, you can't see anything in the club anyways, though.
So then if you're like maybe starting to talk with someone that you're interested in, you're like, I don't even know what they look like.
The twos turn to tens. Is what we like to say.
That should be your tagline on the sunglasses.
Yeah, the twos turn to tens.
Where the twos will be the tens.
Yeah.
You should play with the name and call something like that.
The 2 to 10s.
The 2 to 10s.
I'll have a tribute to Max, and we'll do a pair that says 2 to 10s. And that'll be specifically for the club.
What's the biggest thing you've learned from starting your own business?
I would say be okay with delegating, because for me, at first I was like, fuck, I'm gonna have to do everything myself. I was like, this sucks. Like I'm gonna have to do this, and in the beginning, I remember I was stressing so hard. Like when Gary actually kind of like hit me with the slap in the face. He was like, yo, so when's your first drop? Because this was when everything was starting to get rolling. He was like, when's the first drop? And I was like, I don't know. He was like, why don't you know? I was like, I don't know. No one's told me. And like he made a quick phone call and he found out like when the shipment was coming, like the bulk shipment, and he was like, okay, so your bulk shipment's coming in 2 weeks. What the fuck are you doing? You need to start marketing. You have the photo shoot samples, like you have the samples to start doing photos with. Why aren't you on top of it? And I was like, fuck. So right then and there, I started like stressing, and then I had my buddy come out to help me, who lives here now, but I had him like fly out here, and we were doing content for like probably a week straight, just like stress. And looking back at it, I didn't have to stress at all, but that was a really good, like, okay, like you need to start planning, start delegating, start putting a team together, and like start giving jobs out or whatever, and tasks for people to do. So that way you're not doing everything yourself and it doesn't like consume you and kill you.
I think you're going to learn a ton with this new business, and a lot of people. I take a lot of pride in like that. I have no partners in Sour Strips, and I say that not as a like anyone who has partners. I think there's different strategies with business, and there's a lot of things that I probably would have scaled the business so much faster if I had people with the knowledge to be able to do it. It wasn't in the cards for me at the time. But I think with not only working with people who have tremendous success with Young LA and just business knowledge, and being able to teach that to you, I think your ability to build a business and to like learn how to properly scale a company and delegate and to see what goes into building a brand is going to be something that is going to like take you just your knowledge to the next level of like expanding your horizons of like who you are, and kind of like will take you to the next level, because I see kind of how you started with the content and kind of like the goofiness, and then it's like, okay, now I'm starting to make money, and I'm working with these brands. Now I'm a business owner, and and it's starting, and like I can see the evolution, and you're gonna look back in 5-10 years and look how far you've come and be so grateful that you've like done all these things so early on, because I didn't start businesses until more years into the game than you did. It was like like 3 years before before I started a company, and it started very, very small, because I didn't have the power to scale something so fast. So was a very kind of like slow growth thing, but you kind of being like on this rocket ship propulsion of the people you have in your corner to help you and everything is going to be something that like is going to be tremendous for you, bro.
Yeah. One of the things I say is I'm fortunate enough where Gary and I don't take any money from Boulevard. So like all them, like we just
it's way too early to do that.
Yeah. We just like immediately reinvest. Like we pay our employees and then we just reinvest it, because it's not like I don't need that money, because I'm still getting paid from other people.
Yeah.
So we're just like constantly like just going, like putting our money into that. So I think it'll like pay off in the long run. So,
well, dude, I'm super excited for your future, man.
Thank you.
Is there anything? Do you have any kind of like what's next stuff for the people? Do you have anything like else you're working on? Or you just like head down focused on growing the new company?
We have a La Seltz LLC that
a what?
La Seltz, which is a seltzer company that we were
like LA Seltz.
Yeah,
okay.
LAH Seltz, because it's like La Seltz. And Christian Guzman is like the other partner, so it's three ways.
I don't even know this.
4 ways, yeah. So that's in the works, but that's been in the works for a minute. But alcohol is a lot harder than clothes.
Beverage distribution is a next level shit that I have.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna be like, all right, La Seltz, and like 2 months later we're selling seltzer, but it's a lot harder.
Did you know you have to get alcohol licenses in every single state that you want to sell in?
Yeah, it's pretty insane.
So that's why people like, why near my state? People who sell like, I'm friends with the owners of like Alani and Alani Seltzer and stuff, and like you have to literally go through hoops for every state. It's not like you can just I have a seltzer, I get my kind of like liquor license of sorts, and I go. It's like every state has their own specific hoops to be able to distribute product into there.
Yeah, and just I think like some states don't even allow like shipping.
Yeah, that's
like you can't even like ship it to your door. Like some of these things to your doorstep, you have to like it has got to be in store or something like that.
Well, that's going to be especially with beverages, like you have to get just massive distribution. Which I'm sure I don't know all the stuff that's going into it, but I'm sure the people you have in your corner are very aware of that.
Honestly, I don't want to get people hyped because it's
Last
very
cells,
early.
baby.
It's very early, and we're like kind of just fucking around, throwing around ideas. But it definitely will happen. And I think with the marketing that we have planned, like it's a seltzer, bro. So like it's not anything. It's a seltzer, you know. So as long as you do the marketing right, like it'll sell.
I believe in you.
So
bro.
I think we can. Like I said, salesman. So
I think you have the golden touch, dude. Whatever you.
I'm hoping because that's something fun. Like a seltzer is like not everyone can say they have an alcohol. Like
and it gets you drunk.
Yeah, you
That's
get to sip on it.
I want to ask you one more thing before we go, and I don't know if I'm dancing with the devil here on this one, but you mentioned earlier when I came in about that I lifted at Zoo. Can you talk about you have some beef with Bradley?
Yeah,
why do you guys have beef? I barely know both of you, so
he doesn't like to talk about it, and
because you I see you poke the bear. I see you.
Yeah, and that's just the type of person that I am, and I always will be that person.
I don't know if I'm putting it in.
No. I'm just trying to word this right.
Did you bang
There's
this girl?
No. There's no beef. Well, he's a character, and we're all kind of like characters in our own way.
Y'all both seem to be very open about talking shit to each other.
But he'll never say my name, and I think that's his way of saying like.
I think I don't know if you watched our. I don't know. I'm sure you didn't.
Joe Latona told me about that. He said
there's a point in there when he didn't say her name, but I think he's talking about you.
Yeah, and he does that a lot. Because I think he.
What did you do? What did he do? Why?
Honestly, I don't even remember how it started, but I just know like he does own Raw Gear, which is like one of the competitors barely of Young LA. But it's at this point, it's like I don't even want to talk. I don't want to talk about like Young LA versus Raw Gear anymore because it's like not even a question. It's almost just like insulting a little bit. So, but just someone like him, I don't like people who play victim. And that's.
How about this? If I set up.
I talked to Bradley when he was in Houston. I actually gave him a pair of Young LA shorts.
No, I wasn't going to say talk. I set up a mediating meeting between you two. Again, the amount of relationship you and I have, which is
the same,
is the same with it. Yeah. I'm not like I don't have anything. You should do a boxing match with Bradley Martin.
He beat the fuck out of me. He would beat the shit out of me.
That's okay. If I can be honest with you, having beef with someone is like one thing, but having beef with someone who is literally 3 times your size, you're brave.
But at the same time, he's like a grown man. So it's like if you're like, and I'm also a grown man, but like if he's so like light years ahead of me or whatever, then he wouldn't even pay any mind. But obviously, we're getting through to him if he's talking about us, via podcasts or whatever or other content.
Well, to be honest, I still have no idea what the beef is, but
I wish I could tell you. I really don't know. No, we don't have to leave it because I want to like.
What happened?
I want to dig
in.
There
has to be something.
It's
because
more
I remember
of just,
there was videos of like.
Okay, actually, no, I remember the original beef, and it was never.
This girl.
It was never anything against Bradley. It was more just against Raw Gear, and because it's like Nike versus Adidas. Everyone wants to be like, oh fuck Adidas. Like if you're on like if you wear Nike, if you rep Nike, it's like. Fuck Adidas, or like if you wear Supreme, it's fuck Bape.
Why is that a thing?
It's just that's how it is. Like there's always like that rival, and so we would do that. And back in the day,
so it's just the like unspoken rivalry between Raw and Young LA.
Yeah, and so back in the day, Bradley would reach out to Gary because they used to be close, and also I don't think it's any coincidence that all of Bradley's close friends don't talk to him anymore, but he's the one who says that he's the victim, but everybody else has other words to say. But I think that I lost my train of thought. Oh, he would go to Gary and be like, "Hey, bro, can you tell Soosh to stop talking about us?" And So when you tell a kid,
were you talking shit about raw gear?
yes, like, oh, these designs are
Yes,
whack.
I was.
These designs are whack. Like just playful shit like that. And
So you think you were doing the Nike and Adidas thing?
yeah. Like these designs are whack, and it was never anything against Bradley. But as soon as I could tell that I was getting through to Bradley, because Gary would be like, "Hey, bro, Bradley's like getting upset at you." So I knew he knew who I was, and I knew that I was getting at him. And you tell a 19, 20-year-old kid that, I'm going to continue doing it, and I'm going to continue like talking shit. And so when that got on, Bradley started getting more upset, and then he was starting to make threats and a bunch of other shit. That's when I realized, okay, like I'm really in this fucking guy's head, and I know that I'm in his head, and we have a lot of like.
What happens if Brad one day runs into you?
Last
Do you
time
think you're gonna be like, I'm just kidding?
Last time I talked to him, he was very civil because he's very well. Like, you ever speak to him in public or when there's cameras around, he's camera trained. He's really good. And I was like I was getting really intense. Like I was getting really heated, and he was so chill and so calm. And I was like, fuck, I can't. Like, I'm trying to.
You don't want to lose your cool.
Yeah, I'm trying to like poke the bear at him. I'm trying to like get him to kind of come off, like get off. That was really gay. But I'm trying to get him to like kind of get angry too. But he was like stayed really cool. And so I realized, okay, I'm not going to get through to him. But he would ask me, like, why are you doing this to me? Like, why are you doing this to me? And I was like, I'm not doing it to you. Like I said, it's Nike versus Adidas. I use that same analogy with him. I said, it's Nike versus Adidas. It was never anything against you. And then he was like, okay, bro, like if you could just stop, whatever, this and that. And then we ended up having a drink at wherever we were.
So you kind of squashed it.
We squashed it. But then
I saw at the zoo opening, you posted
everyone chanting Young LA. How could I not post that?
No. You put like a flyer of like, I'm going to come.
Oh.
You're just trolling.
Yeah, that's playful, right? And he probably got some.
I wouldn't troll someone who's like 260 pounds, personally.
Yeah, but we're in the day and age where it's almost like no one's gonna fight, right? And
until someone gets hit.
Yeah, and
would you do a boxing match with Bradley Martin?
I would be down. I just got to fix my knee, and for that reason, I'm never fixing my knee.
Well, now he knows your Achilles.
Yeah, I've got a torn ACL, so I wouldn't do anything. It's just
Do you want to squash it?
No, I really enjoy what we got going on. Because I know that I sleep good every night, and I know he has trouble sleeping. So, and that's how we'll end it.
All right. Well, we will. Is this the first time you've ever like spoken on it like that?
I've spoken a little bit about Bradley, but
we're getting an exclusive here.
Yeah, I think a little bit.
I like that.
I
just want everyone to get along, dude.
Yeah.
Because I hear. Whenever I go meet someone who I've never met before, I always, you always hear about like, oh, this person's like this, person's like this. And then I meet someone and they're, like very normal, whatever. And then I'm like, I don't see like a big issue with anyone. And then everyone's always
he's really good at that. He's really good at that.
Maybe you guys just have a beef.
Yeah.
Specifically. And there's not like, because you seem like a very normal guy and whatever. And if I didn't talk to Bradley about this at all, but I mean, if I was like that, he'd probably say how you're very different. But I mean, unless you're putting on a big facade right now, I mean, I think I don't know, bro.
I've always been a button pusher, like ever since I was a kid, and I it's almost like, in a way, I'm like, I know that I'm getting through to him, like I'm in his head, and I feed off of that.
Have you ever heard of the old? Who was it? Benjamin Franklin that said, "Talk shit, get hit."
Yeah, of course. You really want to see me get my ass beat?
No, I don't.
It's totally cool.
No, because you'll die, bro. You'll literally die. Yeah, I've seen this man,
Bradley's
and he will kill
scary
you,
motherfucker. He's very scary. But I don't think he ever would. And this is not me like being like, oh, you won't.
You got to publicly be like,
I don't think he ever would. If I did
get an alteration, I would not press charges.
He doesn't want to. He wouldn't want to show the fact that I got that much into it. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the same reason why he's never said my name before.
But whenever he talks about something, you're like, that's me.
Yeah, there's just been too many times where I've heard bad stories about him where you know, so.
Well, actually, I got a surprise for you. Bradley, come on in, dude. Come on in.
He's like, hey, give bro a love. He's actually, like, his zoo culture is right down the road.
We were just there.
Oh, at this one?
I have zoo culture sweat on me.
Oh, great. Yeah.
It's seeping into your cup.
And which, by the way, the zoo culture in Encino, the new one.
That's one we're at.
That fucking looks great.
It's sick,
and
yeah.
I'll admit, like, that's a great gym. That looks sick. And I don't have, like, I got to give credit where it's due. But in terms of, like, clothing and everything, raw gear, like, their shit's ugly. And that's originally how it started. You're allowed to say that Lemonheads fucking suck, right? You're allowed to say that Skittles suck.
I like Skittles.
But whatever.
I get what you're saying.
You're allowed to say that. And so let's say the Skittles owner says, fuck max tuning, right?
You better not.
Like, and you realize, damn, this Skittles guy who's so, like, he's so big. Like, this Skittles guy who owns Skittles, this whatever multi-billionaire, really doesn't like me. Like, damn, fuck Skittles. And then so you kind of like keep saying it, like, fuck Skittles. And then it starts getting really heated.
All right, so Bradley Martin is Skittles. You're Sour Strips.
Yeah, that's the analogy that we're going with.
We'll leave it at that, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
I'm excited for the comment section on this one.
Yeah, most of them already, they, like, you've heard, it's died down a little bit, so.
Yeah. Well, hopefully it dies down, dude. I think, especially the older we get, no one wants beef. No one wants fucking.
I think he wants to just let it go, and
but
I won't let him, bro. I won't let. I'm fucking hanging on to him, bro. Nah, in reality, it's I have nothing specifically against Brad. He's never done anything bad for me. Like,
I have nothing against him. But I just hate him. But
besides like a couple threats, like, that's it. So
I just feel like when most people have beef, if y'all like ran into each other at a dinner, you'd both be like, "What's up, man?"
Like, just lay it all out there.
I think you played off like nothing. Like, "Hey, what's up, bro?" It's like, dude, I know we got the beef. It's like,
nah, but that's what you would think, because when we met, it was like, okay, what's your problem? That's what he asked me. He was like, "What's your problem?" And then, so we laid it out there. But that was before some, new things came out, and so that's where we're at now. It's like, we thought we squashed, but we didn't actually squash.
I like everyone. I don't.
You like Skittles, you like Snickers, you like everybody.
I like all the sour candies out there.
Yeah.
Any sour candy brand watching, I love you guys.
No beef.
Well, dude, we're gonna leave it on that kind of wild ending there.
Yeah.
I appreciate you.
This was a really good podcast. I talked about a lot of shit I haven't talked about. So,
dude, I've never. This was a freestyle. I didn't have my notes.
You've definitely got.
Which is, hey, bro, this is actually crazy. Do you want to know the only other podcast in the history of me doing podcasts that I also did not have notes on?
Bradley Martin. There are times where I've said, damn, like, him and I are really similar. So maybe we are the same.
I think you guys should just like kiss and make up.
Yeah, me too. Maybe next time I'll get invited to the zoo culture thing if we kiss.
If you manifest it, you can achieve it. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to wrap it up here. I'm going to put all of your socials down in the description.
Perfect.
I'll put your Young LA discount code. What else you got?
Code Soosh.
Code Soosh. Gorilla Mind.
Get some sunglasses.
I'll put Boulevard frames.
Summer's coming up. So.
Is there any discount code for the Boulevard frame people? Give people an exclusive discount code for this one. Whatever, like 10% or something?
Code Sour will give you 15% off.
Code Sour 15% off.
Yeah. But you don't get any commission, so
that's fine. Hey, I work with movement. I can't do that. So.
Perfect.
But yeah, well, if you activate it,
I'll do it right now.
People aren't gonna be pissed if they go to do it and there's not a discount on there.
I'll do it right now.
Well, sick, man. Make sure you guys go check out everything that he has all linked down in the description.
Thank you for having me, Max.
If you're watching on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and if you're watching on any sort of podcast streaming software, give us a 5-star review. I have no idea what that does, but I think it helps. It makes me feel good inside. We'll see you next time. New episodes every Monday, 9 a.m. Eastern time. Eat more sour strips and never forward. Thanks for tuning in. I messed up the outro. Kind of drunk. Peace.
Peace out, guys.
That was a podcast.
Yeah, that was sick.
Ladies and gentlemen, how long was that? Hour and a half?
How long are they usually?
Yeah, right around that. All right. That was solid.
That was sick. Wow.